the worst title of the entire year.
Hello, Adam Ryan Donato.
Hello, welcome back to another Hard Review, and I'm here, of course, to talk about not Ballerina. I'm not here to talk about Ballerina. I'm here to talk about, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Now, this was such an obnoxious non-starter for me. Some context, I like the John Wick movies. I think the first one's great. I think the fourth one's probably my second favorite, then 3, then 2. And they're really good action movies. They become like the standard action franchise of this like past decade. I know Mission Impossible just came out. That's kind of a different thing. That's kind of like the spy action blockbuster, whereas this is more like one man against them all, revenge action thriller movie. And in the John Wick franchise, there's this character known as the Ballerina, and then this is the solo film kind of detailing her origin story of sorts. But you can't just call your movie Ballerina, especially when your target demographic is adult men who like cool action movies. But how are we gonna let people know that this movie is attached to John Wick? Because usually the big franchises like this don't have franchise names that are literally just the name of the main character of the franchise. Like, it's not called Luke Skywalker, it's called Star Wars, it's called Star Trek, it's called Fast and Furious, it's called Mission Impossible. It reminds me of Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, which I think works a lot better because Fast and Furious is stupid, and this is like a stupid spin-off, and like the trailers are all, why can't we be friends? And it's got The Rock and Jason Statham playing themselves. It's a very silly, goofy thing. And also it's not like Dominic Toretto presents Hobbs and Shaw. Also, you can't just call a movie Hobbs and Shaw, I don't think. I think you could easily call a movie Ballerina, but you can't, just say, oh, Hobbs and Shaw, the movie. So is the alternative calling it John Wick Ballerina? Or maybe Ballerina : From the World of John Wick? Even that would have been better, but no, it's From the World of John Wick : Ballerina. And at the end of this movie, when they cut to the title, like it's over, it just says Ballerina. And no, you do not get away with that. You called it From the World of John Wick Ballerina. That's so stupid. From the World of John Wick. How unconfident are you in your big dumb action movie with an actually recognizable leading lady? No, but people won't buy tickets if we don't have John Wick somewhere in the title. That's sad. In the spirit of fairness, Furiosa was called Furiosa: A Mad Max Saga, but at least it had the balls to put its leading lady first and foremost. Ballerina's like, no, this is a movie that is leading with we are a part of the John Wick universe. Oh yeah, also, it's kind of about this ballerina character, whereas Furiosa's like, Furiosa, and she's in the Mad Max world. So that was a really huge hurdle for me to overcome, was just digesting this stupid, terrible, awful name. I've never heard a worse title for a movie, I don't think. This is so obnoxiously pathetic. Corporate greed, like, ick. Like, I'm cringe every single time I look at this title. I just can't handle it. Just call it Ballerina. Just call it Ballerina. We will understand. But this is just proof, okay? These guys are not making these movies for people who actually care, who are actually fans, who are actually invested in going to the movies. They don't care because they know I'm going to go see the movie. They know they don't have to sell to me. They know I'm going to see it already. They know I'm informed. They know I'm inherently baked in. But how many people out there are going to see this movie because John Wick's in the title that wouldn't have seen it if John Wick wasn't in the title? Also, what if you just hid the fact that this was a John Wick movie at all, and then you open this movie and it's like, holy shit, it's actually a John Wick movie? Or just call it Ballerina, have John Wick in the trailers like you did, and people will pick up that it's a John Wick movie. But how is the movie itself? It's fine. I think that the story and the characters are super flat, boring. It's your typical revenge thriller. You killed my father, so I'm going to go on this big huge hunt to go and kill you because revenge. Ana de Armas is fine. I think she holds her own in the action sequences. Not really anything that like stood out to me at all. Her character is very, very boring. I understand that she feels this connection to this little girl because she's going through a similar thing that she went to when she was a child. We also don't really get much time to develop that. They don't really spend a lot of time with each other because we got to get to the action sequences, baby. And the action sequences are cool. I don't think they're as cool as they are in the John Wick movies, but there is several moments that are like, ooh, like, ah, like these kind of moments that you go to a movie like this for. So it does, on a baseline level, satisfy those things, but the corporate cynicism of the movie and just the boring, bland narrative and characters in the movie, I didn't like the villain at all. I didn't like much of anybody at all. And I think that the inclusion of John Wick in this movie, in this story, in the way that he's included is condemnable. Like, it's kind of annoying that I'm watching this movie about the ballerina, okay? I'm invested in the ballerina. For John Wick to come in, prop her up, I think is kind of disrespectful to her and her movie and her character. She kind of takes the fight away. You know what I mean? It takes her agency away a little bit, because I don't know what from the trailers is expressed about what his role is, but it's very much so, just so you know, I'm going to beat you up because I'm John Wick and I'm the best action man of all time. But fine, you can go do your little thing. I'll allow it. Obligations of this being a franchise film is what really weighs it down for me. I was between a 3 or a 2. I realized I just didn't really have that much of a good time watching this movie, and the seldom good action sequences that there are didn't really, make it worth the price of admission for me, and I wouldn't recommend it. I don't like Len Wiseman. I think he's a bad person. This is a spin-off that can just go in the trash. It's the worst John Wick movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 2 out of 5. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Like, comment, subscribe. Why don't you guys tell me what your favorite action heroine movie is? Off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with Furiosa. I'm so glad that we got Furiosa. We are so lucky. That is so much obnoxiously better than this.